this is Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. Alright, we got a pretty early start to it, so let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? My practice has taken a turn. I don't think any of us was expecting. I've pretty much just been filming practice logs like 3 days a week, but I've also been practicing 3 or 4 sessions a day, and just putting in some like generally solid hours, and the majority of that time is going into scale work. Rest stroke, and I've told you all the different ways that I'm playing them. Ascending, descending, skipping thirds, sequences of 3, sequences of 4. At least with ascending, descending right now, I managed to crack 130, a really sloppy 130, and I have to be very warm to do that. But I was not able to do that before. And it's cool, from doing like 2 hours of scale work every day, it feels like every day, or every few days I come back to it, the BPM just goes up like 5. So that's really encouraging. And I'm finding just like in general, I think my playing just sounds better, and like is more accurate and stuff. So I don't know, maybe there's something to the scale practice thing. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep chasing it. I'm pretty sure the majority of my practice today is just gonna be scale practice, and I'm just gonna work on one piece and play it for you and just try to play well. Yeah, so I don't know what to tell you. That's what I've been doing. It's been like, I don't know, it's been several weeks now of doing that. My goal is to get a really solid 150 right now. I think if I can play scales at 150 16th notes really clean and tight, that's gotta be good, right? I definitely can't do that now. That's way too fast. My general feeling with any speed thing is like 150 16th notes is like pretty much as fast as you'll ever need to go. You can go faster than that if you want to be like a super virtuoso. Who's playing faster than that 99% of the time? Maybe some like pull off arpeggio combination will like technically be faster than that, but I'm talking about just articulating notes with your fingers. 150 16th notes, that's as fast as you need to go. My coffee is brewing right now. Hey, it's 7:40 in the morning. We're getting to practice. Why am I up so early? It's because I have plans. I have stuff to do later in the day, and I want to get all the video stuff out of the way. Halloween's over. What'd you guys think of Halloween? That was pretty fun, right? Wow. I say we get into some comment questions, and then we'll go ahead and start this thing off. Okay. So, this is a good one. It's not a question, it's more just an observation. This is from Hot Butterwell 194, friend of the channel. I changed the friend of the channel thing, my member section, to patron of the channel. And I also got some advice that maybe using Patreon would be better, just because apparently you can't actually become a member if you're on like Apple iPhone, because Apple tries to like take a cut. I don't know, maybe I'll have both. I just have to set up the Patreon. The only reason why I made the memberships is because it was suddenly an option, and I was like, heck yeah, I'm gonna make a member section, why not? But if that's an issue, if you guys would rather Patreon, if anybody actually wants to support me for whatever reason, I'll consider making that. It's just more stuff I have to do though. Okay, Hot Butterwell, this is what you said. And this is actually in regards to my guitar support issues, which, by the way, I was generously given a guitar lift, and I have a bunch of other guitar supports too. I don't know, I'm just going through a thing right now where I just need to use the footstool, and at most I'll use the pillow with the footstool. And I've actually been finding, I've been doing the guitar at a much lower angle than I've ever thought was comfortable, and I'm finding that it's just comfortable. It also just looks cooler. Like, I feel like you look kind of dorky when you have the guitar like way up here, the neck's like right at your face. Anyways, like, not that that matters at all, but there's just a certain like I don't care anymore attitude that comes with just playing the guitar on your right leg. Just like, screw it, I'm gonna play freaking Bach on my right leg right now. I'm just chasing the most stable thing. But anyways, you said supporting the guitar is the bane of my existence. The footstool seems best, but my butt starts to hurt after half an hour. Yeah, that's the only problem. That's why I've been practicing 4 times a day, and I usually practice for like 30 to an hour. I'm gonna do a long session today, but I'll probably change between like how high my footstool is and the pillow, and I might even change to just right leg with my feet flat on the floor, or maybe with both my feet on the footstool. But it's the elevated leg that's what causes my butt to hurt, and it just hurts on one side. So yeah, that's a tough one. Ooh, coffee's ready. Yeah, and then you go on to say, I was hoping the guitar lift would work for you. I might still try one. Yeah, it's definitely worth trying. Like, between the ergo play and guitar lift, I think guitar lift is probably better. I know I got one for free. I'm not just saying that though. Just the way it actually supports the guitar is a little more solid. There's something about the ergo play being like under the guitar that's just a little like shaky. The guitar lift like actually attaches to the back of your guitar, and it's just this thing that like is sitting on your leg and it's just like kind of stuck there. But yeah, I mean, what's more stable than that? The footstool, where you can just wrap your body around the guitar and it's not moving. That definitely, right now, it feels the best. But of course, like, it hurts my back and my butt. But I'm just kind of dealing with that right now. I'll be honest, I was sort of inspired by this one commenter, Pulseman09, friend of the channel. How you doing? Well, you started off with saying, I have a good amount of sympathetic harmonics from other strings besides the one. Have you looked into some different ways to deal with that? No. I'm noisy. What are you trying to say? It depends on what they are. Sometimes I'm aware of that, and I let them ring out on purpose, just because I find that it like fills the space a little bit. Like, especially if you're playing something like the Morel, like where it's all just kind of like B minor and D major. If you can like find some notes to ring out, it's not the worst thing to have like your 6th string ringing out harmoniously with what you're playing. But yeah, I mean, if you're playing like particular counterpoint and it like clashes, then you probably don't want that. I mean, the way I usually deal with it is like thumb muting. The bass strings are the biggest culprit. But yeah, I don't know. I'll take a look at that. But anyways, you said, I went through a phase in which I was ultra particular about the stool I used. What footstool, what leg rest. I would watch a friend of mine who's a fantastic player and more proficient than I am, and I would see him playing in many different settings with different angles of holding his instrument. He inspired me to try and drop how finicky I was about my position. I ended up spending a few months trying to play with my guitar resting on my right leg, cowboy style. And while that's not the way I ended up playing after that brief trial period, I became much more comfortable with all positions in between and the very particular way and angle I was playing before. It was beyond just the physical aspect as well. I felt more free mentally when I would pick up my instrument. And that's an inspiring story. Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in seating, and I have been caught up with seating. Like, I've been comfortable with it before, and I think right now what I'm settling with is just, I'm not attaching anything to my guitar right now. I'll have a pillow, I'll have a footstool. I just don't want to freaking attach anything to my guitar. No devices. And even if the devices are effective, like, I still think ergo play is good, I still think guitar lift is good, I just don't want it hanging off my guitar at this point. Maybe someday I will, but right now I don't. And that's just kind of where I'm at. Alright, moving on. Here's one regarding my learning history on the classical guitar. This was on my video, You're Probably Not an Advanced Guitarist, and I was talking about how silly it was to learn a C major chord, and then afterwards learning what a C major triad is, because it's like, wouldn't it be easier to just learn what a triad is, and then you can figure everything else after that? Which there were a few opinions on that. But this one, Hagen4536 said, wow, I never thought people learn music so differently. All the things you were claiming to learn first were things I learned last. Example, like triads before open chords. I learned triads way later. Super interested to learn what your music journey was like on guitar. I'm sorry that I made you believe that I learned triads first, because I definitely didn't. I definitely learned like chord shapes and stuff on guitar before I learned like the actual theory behind it. I don't think that that was good. When I'm teaching, I never teach open chords first. And so in a lesson with a student, I would hope to start with triads, and I would hope that they're like somewhat excited by the idea of triads, which I know is like a tough sell. I try to make it fun though. But you also have to remember that like some people are different. Some kids are bored by the idea of open chords, and they love the idea of starting with music theory and just like figuring stuff out on the guitar after that. I like teaching those kind of kids. Can like show them stuff and they think it's actually cool. But it's very important to recognize that not everyone is like that, and not everyone learns the same way, and sometimes it helps to just learn a shape that does a thing, and it only does one thing. The idea is simple. Actually playing it is hard, but maybe the kid is more like physically inclined, so they can like get it to happen more easily. That's the thing too, like some kids just aren't as coordinated, but they are more like intellectual with how they approach music, and then some kids just don't really want to think, but they're like really good physically, and some kids are good at both, and some kids are good at neither, and none of those options are bad or anything. It's just a different approach that I would take to actually learning music. But just as a teacher, I try to do a healthy mix of learning theory and then just learning physical abilities. And when I was a kid, I started with just learning the physical abilities. Learn to play the scale, not learn what the scale is, or learn the chord, not what the chord is though. It's just a chord, it's a C major chord. It's just innate knowledge passed down generation to generation. There's no theory behind it. That's like how I thought of stuff. There's no logic to it, but there is logic to it. And if you learn the logic, everything actually becomes quite easy. So no, I'm sorry that I made you believe that I learned the way that I think is ideal, because I definitely didn't. But when I teach, I encourage that, and I feel out the waters for if they're receptive to that sort of thing. And if they're not, then I adjust, of course. But if they are, And even if they are only a little bit, I'll really try to push that, if that makes any sense. Because I think it's better. It's just better. Trust me, I'm your teacher, it's better. There are so many amazing comments, and I do read all of them, but it's so hard to find them when I actually want to find them. So I remember there was one comment that I almost answered by Mello. If you're watching, Mello, can you post it again, and then I'll see it on this video, and I promise you I'll answer the next one. Also, become a member, and then I'll definitely answer it. So to think about, I'm looking at you, Mello. Become a member. Do it. Give me your money. This is robbery. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not robbing you. It's your choice, but you know the right choice. Every log, I'm just gonna pick one of you, just like freaking do it. Do it, you coward. Become a member. I think it's time that we actually get started. I need to practice my scales, so I'll see you in the piano bench. Back to the old G major grind. Enough chit chat. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, I know this isn't going to be very inspiring, but I'm done for now. And it hasn't been that long. It hasn't. I worked on scales for like 30 minutes or so, and then I worked on the Presto. So that's what I'm going to play for you. Let me bring it closer. So my strategy for the Presto right now, I am pretending like I'm recording it. And can I play 4 to 8 measures at a time flawlessly? And so I'm not just playing through the whole thing over and over again. I'm going through sections, and I think what I'm gonna do is just play as far as I can get, or just go like as far as I've kind of gone with it. So I'm really changing like how I'm thinking about learning this thing, because I know all the notes, but I want it all to be this smooth, fast thing. So I'm just gonna play like the first page. I'll take the repeat, and I might play some of the next page. I'm not gonna play the whole thing though. I need to spend more time on that Presto. I know it might not seem like it. My hands just feel like more confident on the guitar after all the scale practice. You guys want to see where my scales are at? So I'll start with 60, 16th notes. How about 70? How about 80? How about 90? How about 100? 100 was like my limit for a while. Close enough. 110. There's some crap up there. Alright, 120. Nope. It breaks apart there. Just for fun, let's do 130. Why not? Nope. Nope, I can't do it. That's where the scales are at, and of course I do those in all 5 positions. In any key, which is 1 key, any major key. I'm not playing harmonic minor or melodic minor. You know, if you master one thing, it'll be easy to master the next thing. So yeah, that's been my progress with that. You should have heard how atrocious 100 was. Like, or I mean, honestly, all of them. I feel like my scales are just bad. I don't know, since doing that, my hands just feel more, like, stable. cool. I'm just gonna keep doing that. Alright, I think it's time for me to wrap this one up. So, I know, I didn't practice for that long, but I am not done today. I mean, I'm gonna do like 3 more scale sessions probably. And yeah. And I think I'm gonna start kind of going back into repertoire, because I've been sort of like avoiding repertoire just to like focus on technique. But I think I'm gonna jump back into like maybe 1 piece a day and just work on sections. Like no playing through the whole thing, no more of that. Just working on sections like I did with the Presto, because I really felt some like improvement from doing that. So, you know, we'll see where that's at. Alright, I'll see you in the outro. Hey, well, you know, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. And hey, want some guitar lessons? I'll teach you how to play guitar. And, of course, if you want to become a member, feel free to do that. There is a member section. There'll be a link in the description, I guess. I still need to do that. And, of course, I can give you guitar lessons. Feel free to reach out. Email in the description for that. Hey, want some merch? God, I'm just selling. Hey, do you want to give me your money? Give me your money, punk. No, if you want to support me, feel free to do that. There are many ways to do it with varying dollar amounts and various benefits. Guitar lessons are probably the best value, but, you know, if you're cold and you want a sweatshirt, you can get that too. Alright, God, I'm so sorry. I don't know what this is becoming. I'm just a company now. I'm a corporation. I'm basically Ronald McDonald at this point. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.